Have you ever tried to make changes? Tried to build positive habits? Tried to give something up? Start something new? And then you start off with loads of excitement and energy and good intentions and everything's amazing. Then something happens. You do it for a few days, maybe a couple of weeks or whatever. Something happens. You get out of your new habit and you never do it again. What if that could change? What would that mean to you? What would it mean to you to be able to make a commitment to yourself and keep it? Make an investment in your future self and realize it. What would that mean to you? Or are you happy starting something and never finishing it? Getting excited about something new, then losing interest? I understand. I've been there. In fact, I was there for probably 40 years of my life until finally I realized something had to change. I had to make positive changes. I had to start doing things slightly differently. I had to be honest with myself that my way wasn't working. There had to be another way. This is when I discovered the power of habits, the power of consistency, the power of focus, the power of awareness, the power of discipline, the power of presence, and the power of calm, and the power of intention. Now, I've ended up planking for 5 minutes of every single day. I'm on day 620 today. That's just become a habit. It's brutal. It's not as brutal as it used to be, but it's still brutal. And bear in mind, 620 days ago, which was the first time I'd ever planked in my life for 5 minutes, 30 days before that, I'd never planked at all. And I begun at 10 seconds. I had no core strength. I had no real body strength. I was a runner. I had a bit of cardio. I had 2 crushed vertebrae in my spine. I was weak. I had bad posture. I had chronic back pain for 40 years. No, for 25 years from a back injury in my teens. So the me speaking now, who planks for 5 minutes every day, was an idea in my mind 620 days ago. It was a vision I had. And this is the power of habits. What I realized was I was only ever up against my own excuses. So I had to find something that I could stick to, and I would never ever have a good enough excuse not to. And this is where the power of 5 minutes comes in. You enter into a contract with yourself that for 5 minutes of your day, you're going to honor whatever the commitment is you make to yourself. It doesn't have to be planking, but you have to commit 5 minutes of your day to the same thing, whatever that thing is that's most important to you. Now, planking isn't actually the thing. The thing for me has been awareness. Exercising your awareness muscle for 5 minutes a day. What begins to happen, whatever you focus on for 5 minutes a day, you start to focus on subconsciously for the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of the day. It's how our mind works. It's how our subconscious mind works. We internalize information through repetition and feeling. That's why feeling is important. You need to know what it is that's most important to you. What would you most like to change? Who would you most like to become? What would you most like to let go of? Sometimes it's easier to begin there. So I had a vision. I realized I would never ever have a good enough excuse no matter where I was in the world. I would always have 5 minutes a day and a patch of floor. So although my body didn't have the strength, my mind did. And I realized that if I kept doing it, one day I would become the guy who could do it every day. And the only way to become the guy who could do it every day was by doing it every day. And it has to be every day. And it has to be without exception. And it doesn't take long to embed a habit. I think it takes a few days, because if you have the intention, you've already done it. You have to understand why. But I think certainly in under 28 days, you've embedded a new habit for life, because you've never got an excuse not to do it tomorrow. And tomorrow is today. That's 5 minutes. Same again tomorrow.